Welcome to our presentation on inherently safer design questions. The International Association of Certified Practicing Engineers is a partnership of academics, practical engineers, and those striving to increase their knowledge and boost their career. The goal is to build an organization that would validate a candidate's engineering fundamentals, improve their individual skills, and enhance their networking ability. Starting IACPE, we began writing the Kolmetz Handbook of Process Equipment Design in 2007. We're very honored it has been well received all over the world. We'd get emails from students asking for student discount. The handbook is mostly purchased by companies, so the cost was high for students. In June 2014, we developed an idea to start an engineering association to utilize the handbook to train and certify individuals at a student rate. IACPE has 3 levels. Level 1 sets the floor, makes sure you have a solid engineering foundation. Level 2 then takes that solid engineering foundation and begins to give you practical knowledge. Certified practicing engineers. Level 3 then now builds on that practical knowledge. Level 1. So there's 7 modules in Level 1, which sets the floor: solid fluid mechanics, thermodynamics and their strength, engineering materials and their strength, thermodynamics and heat and mass transfer, physics, electromagnetism, inherently safer design, which we're discussing today, and engineering ethics. The value of these modules, if purchased separately, would be greater than $1,000. Level 2. Level 2 would then follow CPE Level 1. Level 2 is where we think you begin to get the real value. Okay? So in Level 2, you've got 3 required modules: piping fluid flow, project management, statistical process control, and then you choose 4 modules from the Kolmetz Handbook of Process Equipment Design. These 7 modules are valued at about $500 each, or USD $3,500. If you bought them separately at the KLM Technology website. The real value of the CPE certification is Level 2 and Level 3. Now, I'm happy if you want to go buy them from KLM, but I might advise you to go become CPE Level 1, Level 2, and Level 3. Level 3, production control engineering, professional engineering ethics, professional reports and presentations, and you choose 4 additional modules. These 7 modules, again, are valued at $3,500. The real value is Level 2, Level 3. The total value, if you bought all these modules separately, would be around $8,000. ICP is 3 levels. Level 1 in the U.S., and we've priced it per countries. Level 1 in the U.S. is $400. Level 2 is $500, and Level 3 is $600. Inherently safer design, 100 study questions, and this is Part 1, questions 1 through 33. A chemical or physical condition that has the potential to cause damage is the meaning of safety, hazard, risk, or hazard. What is total back pressure? And this is a question relating to a relief valve. Superimposed divided by the buildup back pressure, superimposed multiplied with buildup back pressures, minus the superimposed and buildup pressures, the sum of the superimposed and built-up pressures. The sum of the superimposed and build-up back pressures. What is the guide word none of meant in a HAZOP study? Quantitative increase, negation of intention, quantitative decrease, qualitative decrease, negation of intention. What does the guide word more of mean? It means quantitative increase. What does the guide less of in a HAZOP mean? It means quantitative decrease. What does the guide part of mean in a HAZOP? Quantitative decrease. As well as in a HAZOP study, quantitative increase. Reverse flow, reverse logical opposite. Other than, complete substitution, logical opposite, negation of intention, quantitative decrease, complete substitution. What are the typical material characteristics? And there's 4 choices here, and these are material. Okay? Materials: reactivity, flammability, toxicity, and stability. What is the intonation step in inherently safer design? And these are the steps of inherently safer design. Choosing or using smaller amounts of hazardous hydrocarbons materials. Replacing a hazardous material by less hazardous one. Using hazardous material in the least hazardous form. Make a system not only modest by its look, but also by its function. Using hazardous materials in the least hazardous form. What is the simplification? Tolerance area step. Okay? We've got and it's make a system not only modest by its look, but also by its function. Make things simpler. Substitution. Okay? Substitution is replacing a hazard material by a less hazardous one. Where should an air-cooled exchanger be placed from fired heaters? So, how far away should an air-cooled heat exchanger be from a fired heater? At least 20 meters horizontally. What is the recommended space for pump and wide foundations? 0.5 meter to 1 meter and 2 meters center to center. What is the lowest temperature at which a liquid exposed to air gives off sufficient vapor to form a flammable mixture near the surface of the liquid? Is the meaning of the flash point. What is the minimum space between a gas compressor and open flames? About 30 meters. Where is the discharge valve for an air compressor must be installed? As near as possible to the compressor. What diameter is a tank that a separate bounded compound should be provided for? Sometimes you can put multiple tanks in one compound, but if it's above a certain size, it had to have its individual diked area, and it's above 48 meters. Where is the control rooms and substations to be spaced? Control rooms that have people occupancy, you have to do a facility siting study, and if they're very close, you have to have them a blast-proof building. As far as possible, 30 meters, 15 meters, as near as possible, at least 15 meters from the nearest process equipment. What ladder should be serviced for horizontal vessels? 3.7 meters or less. Unsupported, portable, automatic, or permanent. So if it's very short, you can use a portable ladder. Why should intakes and discharge of equipment be separated? To prevent cross-contamination, convenience in daily operation, to minimize the length of electrical cables, maintain aerodynamic oscillations, piping, platforms, and ladders, to prevent cross-contamination from the suction to the discharge. What is a suitable storage tank for environmental emissions controls? Floating roofs, pressure spheres, fixed tanks, or domed or cone roofs with internal floaters. Domed or cone roof tanks with internal floaters. What is a suitable storage tank for liquids and gases requiring high pressure? Horizontal storage tanks on saddles. Sometimes these are called bullets. What is a suitable storage tank for pressurized liquids? Pressurized spheres. What is the spacing between tanks exceeding 45.7, 150 feet in diameter? It's a minimum of 1/2 the diameter of the largest tank spacing. What spacing between hot oil tanks heated above 150 F, excluding flash, asphalt, slop oil, and emulsion braking tanks? spaced apart by the diameter of the largest tank in the group. And this is safety and spacing. How to increase inherent safety in a reactor. Provide a welded pipe. Use less toxic substance for solvents. Choose equipment that requires higher maintenance. Reducing the reactor size and inventories of all the materials. Obviously, reducing the reactor size and inventory of all the materials. Question 29. What media should be used in heat transfer systems? The best would be water or non-flammable heat transfer media, oil, saturated liquids, or hydrocarbons. Water or other non-flammable heat transfer media would be the best heat transfer. What is the maximum liquid velocities in plastic pipe or rubber line piping? Rubber line piping, about 10 feet per second. What is the function of double wall piping? Provide a secondary containment, prevent cross-contamination, convenience in daily operation, minimize the length of electrical, provide secondary containment if it's very hazardous material. 32. What equipment should be provided to prevent the risk of explosion to a flare? So this is talking about flare design. Seal drums, header purging, a dry seal such as molecular seal, some tanks, wastewater treatment, pressure relief valves, motor relief valves, steam coil jacket, wastewater treatment. So in the flare design, we want to have a seal drum. We want to purge the flares out, and we want to have a dry seal such as a molecular seal to stop reverse flow down the flare. Last question, 1 through 33. Where should the flare knockout drum, flare ignition, and pump out system be located? Minimum 90 meters at a clear area, 18 upstream or downstream of heating coil, near the nearest shut valve. And it should be at the periphery of a clear area. Thanks for your time today. We encourage you to do level 1, 2, and 3. All the best in your career in life.